Beach. I'm delighted to be joined by a G in Julia Bold and Hughes. Hey, you're destined to be here. I've just realised you are an H, aren't you?
Only just, yeah.
Yes, you've been called worse.
Yeah, quite
definitely. So this is a rich pickings here, really. There's many that we're not going to be able to do, but we will come round to them at some point. We're going to start, Julia, I think, with one of Liverpool's finest ever defenders. Oh, it could even be Liverpool's finest ever. Alan Hansen, who, of course, not that long ago wasn't so well, and you saw the outpouring at that point of just how much affection he's held in by Liverpool fans.
Yeah, and I think when you saw that news break as well, that everyone was really shocked because I think for so long he was on our TV screen. So anyone that didn't even see him play remembers him as a pundit on Match of the Day. And, you know, he was a really good pundit and has always seemed almost as though he could still play football. He's always kept himself in shape and things. So I think everyone was shocked. But yeah, I think then reading the stories where people were saying they went to see him, but it's certainly, yeah, I mean, if you're going to say, is it Liverpool's best defender? I think possibly. You know, I think you're right. I think it beats.
The only one. I mean, there are many. I mean, Emlyn Hughes. We could do him. We might have to do that one at another point.
It might need an H part too. There's so many.
It might do. For me, Mike, you know, this is bang my era, really. Alan Hansen. The grace, the style, the flow, the elegance with which he defended, and the way he brought the ball out from the back. I've never. It was like poetry in motion watching him bring the ball out from the back, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could have put him under the ease for elegance because he was the epitome of an elegant defender. And he was right at the forefront of Liverpool changing their approach to how football was played. Liverpool have always been very forthright and on the front foot. If you look back to the days of Shankly and everybody that came after, pretty much. But Alan Hansen was such a gifted footballer, so talented, and as you underlined, this fabulous capacity to Liverpool not to build from the back with the goalkeeper and go through the full backs, and they certainly did that on occasions. But when you've got somebody who's prepared to carry the ball up to the halfway line and beyond, it just opens up the game to such an extent that you end up squeezing the vast majority of the 21 other players in the match into one half, and Liverpool managed to get up the pitch so effortlessly in a lot of respects because of Alan Hansen's ability to carry the ball, to get into prominent position, and he was a footballing centre half in the finest traditions. And when Liverpool have had footballing centre halves since, they're always compared to Hansen because he is the standard bearer for that type of player with the elegance and the vision and the capacity. You wouldn't often see Alan Hansen get his shorts dirty. And that's because, like Bobby Moore for England, he didn't need to.
Yeah.
He spotted danger before the requirement, as in, say, Mark Lawrenson, another Liverpool defensive great. He had this sort of telescopic left leg that would, dive into challenges and win the ball. Alan Hansen just got to the danger before it had happened.
I think there are comparisons with Van Dijk in terms of the unruffled nature of his play. He never, ever seemed to get flustered.
Yeah, and from what you're saying there, Mike, as well, and with that, it was it's modern. It's more what you see now, isn't it? As opposed to sort of, the big hard cases that were there originally. And that was kind of what, people thought of a centre-back. But yeah, and I think that's why the comparison with Virgil van Dijk is there, because he played in a very modern style. If he played his style now, it would still work in the modern day in the Premier League, wouldn't it? And that's why probably the two comparisons are there. But who is better?
Well, I would probably at a push still say Hansen, to be honest, but I don't know whether you tend to go for the players of your youth a little bit more. Maybe that's unfair. I
think there's also a case for a lot of people when they're talking about players go the other end. They go for the here and now because it's the players that you see every week and are kind of fresher in the memories. Liverpool under in the Virgil van Dijk era have been able to see such an incredible footballing force. Who, by the way, he was a really good player when Liverpool bought him from Southampton, and before that at Celtic, we know about the judgment call on Scottish football at the time. But when Alan Hansen came to Liverpool, he was, given his age, he was largely unproven. You know, he played football up in Scotland, but not to the extent certainly that Van Dijk had, and had that experience. But he really took to life playing for Liverpool pretty much from the word go, and from when he became a fixture in the first team, he was never out of it.
I still find it absolutely amazing that Scotland didn't include him in their 1986 World Cup squad. What a squad that must have been to not have Alan. He just captained Liverpool to the double, and they don't put him in the squad. I mean,
But they were wrong.
Alex Ferguson was the manager as well, by the way.
Yeah, and he didn't get many things wrong, but he got that call
I
wrong.
just can't believe it. I find it absolutely staggering. Double winning captain. He's the only player in the history of the club to do that. He is. He's definitely right up there. Alan Hansen, the first in our A to Z of